Hello everyone, Ryan here. Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. I recently listened to the audiobook version of this, and I found it to be pretty interesting. One thing I didn't expect was Anna Kendrick was actually going to have such an awesome sense of humor. I mean, because she narrates the audiobook, and she did a pretty awesome job of narrating it. I mean, obviously she wrote it too, but I mean, because compared to other memoirs and autobiographies, whose audiobooks that I've listened to, this one I would say definitely one of my favorites, because for me at least, it felt a lot more like Anna Kendrick was just talking to the audience, you know. And not only that, but she was aware, because there was moments when she would actually stop and she would address whoever was listening, you know, and she'd say something like, okay, I know at this point in the audiobook it sounds like I'm losing my mind, or, you know, or something like that, which I thought was really cool. I personally feel like I want that to show up a lot more in audiobooks, you know, because it was kind of like breaking the fourth wall kind of thing. And of course, this one is just mostly about how she got started in the business and acting and all that. And I didn't know she got started very young as a kid. I want to say like she was, I don't know, 8, 9, or less than 10 years old when she got started, and she actually acted in a couple plays, even one major one that was on Broadway. And her parents were actually cool enough that they supported her career pretty much, you know, when she was like at that young of an age. And so they were actually, I was surprised, you know, because I mean, for me, I really never hear about that, about how parents are so supportive of, you know, not only are they so supportive, do they support their child's, you know, creative endeavors, but at the same time, they'll go to the lengths, you know, they'll like actually move to an entirely new city, just, you know, in order to help support their child's acting career or music career or something along those lines. And so I was, you know, I found that to be pretty cool. And the way she like talked about her parents made them seem like, you know, yeah, they seemed like pretty cool parents. So I mean, in that regard, you know, obviously she would consider herself lucky. I mean, I would. I mean, yeah, for me, like, my parents, for the most part, I guess, support my own creative endeavors, but still, it's not like not all the time. And I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, you know, hey, you know, Anna Kendrick had, you know, obviously, she's come as far as she has because of having such awesomely supportive parents. So, and I also liked hearing her about, like, she talked about, you know, how weird it felt for her to, you know, go from being a child actor on Broadway and this, like, well-known play, and then afterwards having to go back to a typical kind of middle-class lifestyle and go back to public school. And like, I guess in a way, like, I guess some part of her, she was expecting when she went back to school for all the kids to, like, hound her for autographs or something like that. But no, it turned out that, you know, nobody knew who she was. You know, they never heard of her before, and which I guess for her ended up feeling even more awkward. but then obviously, she adapted. I mean, like most kids do. And I also like, and eventually she gets to the part where after she graduates high school, and instead of going to college, she decides to, be a struggling actor. And she gives like all these different reasons as to why she decided to do it, and most of which I would say I completely agree with. But obviously, I know like there's a lot of people out there that wouldn't agree with it, because her whole thing was like she explained that she didn't want to have anything to fall back on, because that would have it wouldn't have motivated her enough to keep pursuing acting, and which to me it makes sense. It's I know that most people like to have some kind of fail-safe career or whatnot, but I've always felt like while there's nothing wrong with that, at the same time, it's like if you want to pursue something and you end up relying on whatever your fallback career path is, you end up relying on that too much, and then ultimately what happens is your true passion falls to the wayside. And so that's how I've always felt, and that's pretty much how Anna Kendrick felt too. She decided to skip college altogether, just move to LA, pursue acting, and hey, it's actually pretty cool that it actually seemed to pay off for her. And then pretty much for the rest of the audiobook, like she talks about how the different award shows that she would attend, and how when they show them on TV, everyone looks so perfect, and they're all dressed to the nines and everything, and but what the public isn't aware of most of the time is the fact that everyone who's there at these different award shows, all the different actors and producers, writers, and they're all going through their own thing, and most of the time, they're not even fully aware of what's going on, either because they might be drunk or high, or just really preoccupied with worrying about some other project, that they're dying to get back to, or so. And then after that, there's the whole thing about, I guess, at the same time, everyone's trying not to get in each other's way or something. Another thing I found interesting was that she mentioned that at the Academy Awards, I want to say Academy Awards or Golden Globes, or I don't know, I'm not up to date on the whole award show thing. Me personally, I feel like most of those award shows are ludicrous, and pretty much Anna Kendrick felt the same way, or at least in the audiobook she talks about how she also kind of felt the same way, and but she is what was I saying? Oh yeah, because she mentioned that at one of the award shows, everyone had to practice the day before. Everyone had to rehearse the day before. Even big name actors like Brad Pitt, they all had to rehearse, and in order so that the producers can kind of anticipate what might go wrong, and so, which I guess makes sense. But I didn't know that really. I just kind of assumed that only some people rehearse, but I don't know, I just found that to be kind of interesting. And also there was one, she mentioned that she was supposed to attend the Golden Globes one year, and she didn't want to because something, she felt weird, like she felt sick or something, and I don't know, it turned out to be like, because eventually, like, her nose felt really, like, stiff and, like, almost paralyzed or something. And she went to the doctor, and supposedly, then the doctor told her that somehow she, I don't know, had some kind of, I want to say, like, sinus infection or allergic reaction to something. And some kind of, like, cyst formed on the inside of her nose or something, and it eventually, like, moved behind her nose, and it got bigger, and I guess, and that's what was, it was like clogging her sinus cavities or whatever. I don't know the technical term, but yeah, so the doctor, they actually had to cut in to remove the cyst, and then I guess that same day or the next day, like less than 24 hours later, she still went to the Golden Globes, and, but she was on some painkillers, and yeah, and I guess she said when she, all the pictures of her at the Golden Globes from that year, like she looked like she was just completely out of it. And like some of her friends said that because they saw her on TV and they thought that she looked like she was high, or and they kind of like told her, why were you high at the Golden Globes, or and she had to explain to them what was really going on. So I mean, like, that's just like one of many different stories she used to illustrate, the many different things that the public often isn't aware of at these award shows, but also behind the scenes, on the set of different movies and TV shows, which I actually found refreshing, because for me, like, I want to say, I feel like this is the first memoir or autobiographical thing of any kind that I listened to where, the actor actually is pretty honest, or doesn't like sugarcoat anything, doesn't glamorize anything. I mean, yeah, she, like, I guess glamorizes some things in this, but ultimately, like, the majority of what I got from listening to this audiobook was that, Anna Kendrick is grateful for, having such an awesome acting career, and, but at the same time, she's still, like, she's fully aware of how ridiculous and ludicrous and weird, it can be, especially when you take into consideration, again, the fact that, there's so many things the public isn't aware of. And so, yeah, as far as the rating goes, I guess I would definitely give it 4 out of 5 stars, maybe even 4.5 at the most. Yeah. I guess, again, I was pleasantly surprised, mostly because I didn't think she was going to have such a cool sense of humor. And then I'll admit, I haven't seen every single movie she's been in. I mean, and even like some of the movies that I have seen her in, like, I don't know, like, it didn't seem like, I mean, because I've yet to see her in, like, any kind of starring role, or, I mean, I don't know, let me know if you happen to know, like, if there's a movie out there with Anna Kendrick in a starring role. I know she mentioned a movie that she was in with George Clooney, Up in the Air, I think. I do remember seeing that movie, but that was a while ago, so I might have to rewatch it, because I really don't remember her performance in that. So, but yeah, overall, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. That'll do it for my review of Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. As always, thanks for watching this. Thanks for listening. And until next time, don't forget to keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.